All right. What it do? Welcome to another one for Al Cuerpo Boxing to the Body. So let's get with it. Let's talk some boxing. So this morning I was on a live. Didn't get to speak to Bill Haney directly because I think Bill Haney had to put a message across to the public about the current situation or what's best for the Devin Haney, the DHP brand. So I respected that. I don't want to intervene. I want to hear what the guy had to say. And he wants the best for his son, right? And in my opinion, a lot of these times it's not by coincidence, or it probably is by coincidence. I don't know, but we start talking about what's best for Devin Haney, and then the father just suddenly pops on, which is kind of cool. I guess some channels get more radar than others. But anyways, right now, so the latest hype, or I guess the latest gossip in boxing, is Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, and more so, Devin Haney willing to make a fight with Shakur Stevenson at 144 pounds. So, given the energy and the style of how this is being presented, I think, again, I said it before consistently that this is probably one of the reasons why you have to respect Devin Haney's brand or the way his father manages his son, because they're trying to maximize their earnings. And at the same time, having a respectful pound for pound continuance, right? Because again, if you were to beat Shakur Stevenson, that would be a pretty good pound for pound matchup, right? And I guess it's debatable. I think they had mentioned, would it be like pound for pound number one, whoever the winner is in this? I don't know. Maybe pound for pound number two, but either way, it's respectful. Definitely pound for pound top three, the winner of this fight. All right. But I wanted to focus on the business side of this scenario because, well, first things first, and don't call me a hater for this because, yeah, I do like the sweet science of boxing, but I like all styles of boxing. And, if you're a fan of MMA and other combat sports, you have to put some variety, man, in the fight game, okay? And one of the reasons why I don't like Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is I don't like the style matchup, man. Regardless of how it looks good on Legacy, they're both multi-weight champs, right? That's good. I get it, but I don't want to see I don't want to see a Shakur Stevenson versus De Los Santos type of outcome. And I know if you guys are being honest to yourselves, you don't want to see that either. Put it like this. Damn, there's some nice honeys out right now. Put it like this. How tragic would it be if you see David Haney versus Shakur Stevenson the same way we saw the De Los Santos versus Stevenson? If that happens, then you can't blame fans and you can't bring up like fans hating on the slick black style, if you will. You can't hate a fan saying that because that's why I had said before when after Bill Haney got off on the live stream, it all depends on how you promote the style for the matchup, right? Because if you want to promote a ironically fight, how do you promote that, man? Quick shout out to Michiwara. He or she says merhaba. That's hello. Yeah, what up though? What up, Michiwara? Go ahead and subscribe to Michiwara. So again, guys, it's about how you promote the fight. And I think this is a good shout out to the Benavides brand. All right. As much as Benavides gets flamed on for reasons of past, right now, for me, Benavides gets like a clean slate, fresh start. Of course, I'm biased to Latinos and Raza and Mexicanism. Quick shout out, he says, me Turkish. Yeah. Send Turk Muslim. This is a Turkish guy on there. But the reason why Benavides gets a lot of praise as of late is how this guy promotes his fights, guys. What's that not to like? Benavides will say, I'm gonna take the fight to my opponent, or I'm gonna win by stoppage, and the guy does it. He does it. What is not to like about that? If we wanna promote and sell boxing, right? So that's what Bill Haney's approach. If you want to sell the quote the biggest fight in boxing right now, or a big fight, how are you going to promote that as far as the style? None of you guys are talking about that. You talk about details outside of the actual style itself. And again, guys, I don't want to see no chess match, man. When Brian Norman went against Devin Haney, we wanted a particular style to try and neutralize Devin Haney's evasiveness, right? And kudos and respects the way Devin Haney won still. Same thing with Jose Ramirez. I didn't think um, Haney would have success in fleeing against Ramirez, but whatever he did, he got the win. So you can't hate on that, you know. Michiwara, yeah. No, we're Mexica. He's so again, guys, it's how you promote it. So always think about that. The question is this a good fight? Do you want? It's all about the style, guys. It's all about the style. And I know deep inside, a lot of hosts or content creators or practitioners, you got to ask yourselves that question: is this really the style that you want to see? He says, "M8 mate rakbas." Let me see, brakas. If I'm pronouncing it right, he says, "Senin Türkçe." No, no, but I know. And shout out to everybody on there. Are you guys boxing fans? Siz boksarlar fanlar mı? I don't know how to say that. Anyways, so Bill Haney, man, I respect how you're trying to sell your son to get the best fights. All right. But there's two sides to that. It's how you're gonna promote the best fight. All right. And here's another thing too. The reason why I'm skeptic about this propaganda tactics from industry and the promoters, the brand managers themselves, right? BHP and Shakur staying in the promotion. Right now, for this fight to happen, there has to be some sort of Zuffa boxing affiliation, right? Am I understand that correctly? Because forgive me, I don't really follow the politics as of late. I don't. But the reason why we have DHP brand management wanting Shakur is because I honestly think sincerely that they want to bring in Conor Ben versus Devin Haney. I think I think Bill Haney sees that, and I think he's going for the second best route aside from that because he knows the money is nice. And the reason I'm giving this context is because I'm going from the Teofimo Lopez type of situation in that the Haneys they're really good with business tactics, and I can't hate it. I get it. I see it. Right? Damn, y'all's like the young honeys. Let me read some quick shout outs here. Fatih Arslan Giray. He says hello. Türkçe. Michiwara says Fatim biz de Türküz. Says Miraç sorduğunun için teşekkürler. Yeah, and he says abi Türkçe cevap vermesin. So let me tell you something about Turkish. For anybody that's watching here, is that Turkish is Latin based. So for any of you that read Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, if you read it, it's technically the same as if you're reading Turkish. It's the same Latin base. So shout out to Ataturk, Kemal Mustafa Ataturk, who changed the game in this country and he made things a lot more easier because before that it was all Arabic, you know? Damn, man, shout out to the honeys, man. What's up with these big ass nalgas? You guys like nalgas? I don't think you guys know that. For all my Turkish fans, nalgas ne demek? Nalgas means büyük götler. Nice. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get pinned out of here. Anyway, let's go back to boxing here because people are probably listening to me and shit. Y'all know me. I'm like perverted. Anyway, I'm not perverted. I'm just a realist. Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. I don't want to see a square off distance. Who's gonna counter who? Like I don't want to see that, guys. That's not good. I don't want that shit. And we know that's why I think behind the scenes they really want Conor Ben and Devin Haney. And I think, guys, I think this might be another Zuffa because remember Zuffa just got introduced into the UK, guys, right? If I'm not mistaken, they just did a fight in the UK and they were getting praise, right? It was the Chris Billum Smith against what's his name, Brian Rozicki, right? That was one of a nice start off, and I think from that metrics is why they want to do Conor Ben, guys. They want to do Conor Ben as it's progressing versus Devin Haney. And I told this other host, Rep, that and he likes it because he knows I support all around. I like British fighters. I like how British fighters got a lot of grit. And Conor Ben in the UK versus Devin Haney, that's a very hard fight for Devin Haney. And Devin Haney is not an Errol Spence. That's why I like to bring up Errol Spence versus Kell Brook. That was a very good, legendary win by Errol Spence coming overseas. But again, that's attacking the body, man. To the body, baby. Al cuerpo. That's how I like it, Errol Spence. And that's not Devin Haney's style, guys. So he's got non non-volume pressure forwarding against Conor Ben, and he's got to fight the cards and the judges in the UK. That's why the Haneys don't want that fight against Conor Ben. That's a hard fight for them, man. And of course, that's why they want Shakur Stevenson. And of course, that's why they're mentioning, hey, I will do 144. I see the picture, guys. How you guys not see that play? I'm gonna do a quick shot of here. He says, Turk Muslims, be you good, ne? Ne? Yeah, this is funny. I wish these Turkish fans understood my humor or my komik kelimeler. Trust me, bana güven. He says, abi adamı söyler misin? Adam he says, abi adam Muhittin söyle. Adam. See, I'm gonna say this. All the Türkler, the kızlar çok seviyorlar, değil mi? I know all these Turkish guys, man. That's one thing. The Turkish guys, they're a little conservative of knowing what's really to like, you know. Bodies. What's not to like about cuerpos, man? Cuerpos all day. Anyways, guys, going back to the thing here, Zuffa. So we need to figure out what's going on with Zuffa boxing. And I think another play is, I think, in my opinion, Conor Ben versus Ryan Garcia is a propaganda tactic to lure Ben versus Devin Haney. All right, look at the connections here, guys. Look at the connections. So Zuffa Boxing has had their major success, in my opinion, on their portfolio was Canelo versus Crawford. All right. And that was a weird play. And I'm glad I was one of the very few channels back. I was one of the very few that Canelo Alvarez in that fight, when you look at the broadcast and the commentators, the cast, they were all pro American, right? So think about that, guys. What is the thing there is that Zuffa Boxing, they want to bring an American metric to that portfolio. So Canelo, sorry for me to say that, he was very dumb and starting off slow, but he probably thought it was going to be easy and that he's the defending champion. He don't got to do much, and he took the bait. Okay. So how am I getting that with Zuffa Boxing and American Rising Stars? And that's why I think Crawford will probably come back. He's just taking his time off a bit. But right now, American stars like Shakur and Devin Haney, perhaps even Ryan Garcia, because I don't know Ryan Garcia's situation, man. If he's purely with Golden Boy, the exclusive, but they see the money, guys. They see the money. And once, Nick Khan and Turkey, they start brewing with how much they can do the paydays and Paramount or Netflix, they're going to start going to Zuffa, man. So, anyways, I think right now the main metric that Zuffa Boxing is trying to do, because remember, Zuffa Boxing is in the middle with a UK debut with Chris Billam Smith, that they're in the middle between the West and the East with Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, and the United States. They want to boost the metrics in the UK. And what better fight right now? What better fight is there to make than Conor Ben versus Devin Haney? You got the UK powerhouse metrics, and you got a rising undefeated star. I mean, that's debatable in Devin Haney, right? Don't get me wrong. I think Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson, that's an interesting fight. It's not a style matchup that I like. I have Shakur Stevenson edging out Devin Haney. I gotta how do I have this? Maybe 8-4, 7-5 in favor of Shakur Stevenson, because we know Stevenson's style. He's gonna play safe from the outside too. Window quick, he says hala hala Gulio. He says kanka istek yola. Abi yeah. He's cool, man. Turks are cool. Anyways, that's my take, man, on this, on why I think a lot of fans don't really focus on connecting the dots, the puzzle pieces, why they're trying to make Haney versus Stevenson. I think to the Devin Haney brand, the DHP brand, to their credit, they're really the ones that are pushing the needle as far as the narrative for this matchup. They're the ones. And I applaud that. Look at everybody's talking about it, right? I can see now about the catch weight. I mean, from my understanding, it seems like the Heaney's are the ones that are saying, look, if we do a fight at 144, will you still do it? So they're still trying to make it. Right? It gives Stevenson two options. It's possible that maybe Ring Magazine, they know in the rumor talk that Stevenson was probably thinking about that fight. But again, they're trying to detract from what the fans really want to see. In my opinion, Conor Ben versus Devin Haney. And the host was making fun of me. It was this rap guy, this other Brit. He laughed because I said Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben. That's a good fight, but I actually got Ryan Garcia possibly clipping Conor Ben. He didn't like that. Yo, Brits all the way. They're gonna stick with their own. He liked that paradoxical comparison. But what do we do know about Ryan Garcia? What did Ryan Garcia do with his left hook against Devin Haney, guys? Let's not forget that. Let's not forget, my guys. Come on, man. And that's another one too. Really, we should be talking about Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, but nobody want to talk about that. It's stupid, man. It's ridiculous. But that's really the fight that we should get. And you guys know, I'll spice it up and bring back what you guys wanted before. Even the host, that one guy, that rap guy, he knows because he's a Brit, the best satire channel in the game. He's a funny guy. That dude's very lax style. He don't really care. I don't think he's carry any sides, but you can get him if you can get him into liking the Brit culture. Obviously, he's British, so he's gonna write with his own. But he knows what's up. He knows how I can play with that narrative. So he knows that. I've always been talking about Conor Ben. I've been wanting Conor Ben versus Devin Haney for a long time. And in my opinion, people be listening, man. People be listening because they know what's good for the business. That's really good metrics for the UK. They want to make that fight. And I think right now, the situation that we're in is Bill Haney knows that that fight could progress because he knows at the end of the day, you got to go where the paydays are and you got to go with what the investors want. The investors right now, they're leaning towards Ben versus Devin Haney. And the other only option to detract from that is to bring American powerhouses in Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. So in a way, you can say Devin Haney at DHP, they're in a win-win situation because at the worst case scenario, they have to fight Conor Ben, but they still get a big bag if that makes any sense, man. That's a win-win scenario, right? So I got to applaud Bill Haney for that. But Bill Haney, don't snooze on wanting that rematch with Ryan Garcia. If you're really about getting that money, why don't you make all the power in the world and try and make sure that Ryan Garcia gets a bigger bag, that all of you get a bigger bag in the rematch, right? I think Ryan Garcia's win at 147 against Mario Barrios, that's probably better than any win that Devin Haney has at 147. If we want to keep it really 100, as they say, right? Let's be realistic. So yeah, I'll say again, the Ryan Garcia win over Mario Barrios is a better win than Devin Haney versus Lomachenko as far as power for pound comparison or accolade legacy. So that's my thoughts right now. I'm not going to harp too much about that. If you guys want to go back and rewind this, but that's my first take on Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson. I don't see Devin Haney beating Shakur Stevenson. So in my opinion, I think Bill Haney should go for the harder fight, the more exciting fight, possibly even the better payday. And I know the odds are against you because you got to do a lot more in the UK to beat Conor Ben on points if you're going to do that route. But that's a harder fight for you guys. And I think you would get a lot more respect choosing Conor Ben than Shakur Stevenson. I can see a lot of fans too are protecting that, or they don't want fans to compare that. And that's why they say legacy. It's Shakur Stevenson. Nah, we want to see good fights, guys. And that doesn't mean pure boxing and evasiveness and chess matching and having a boring fight like De Los Santos. I don't want to see that stuff, man. And you guys know what I'm getting at. So I'm gonna have to go with the Conor Ben matchup. Anyways, that's what I got for this one for Al Cuerpo Boxing to the body. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.